Hi, Knit Witches, it's me, Disembodied Head Knitted Anus. How are you guys doing? I said I was going to help Angie this weekend, and by golly, it's 8 p.m. on Sunday. I got to it. I'm making promises. I'm usually terrible at it. I'm going to keep these dang promises, especially for Angie. Okay, guys, it's important. First off, welcome to Angie's Angels, okay? I am one of Angie's angels, and so are you, baby. All right. First off, Angie and everyone here, including me, including everyone else, I've been saying this since day one. We need everyone, but we all need you. It's not all on Angie, okay? This revolution depends on each and every one of us. We need to pitch in, and we need everyone to step up. I've been saying it. If you're not posting, you need to start posting. If you're not making videos, guess what? You got to start making videos. Angie didn't ask for this, you know? I'm sure Angie was waiting for someone to step up and start doing this stuff, and no one frickin' did, you know? I have been waiting for someone to come and start saying the stuff that I'm saying because I knew it was true, you know? And no one did, so I said, frick it, I'll frickin' do it. I want you to feel like it's your obligation like frickin' Angie does, you know? It's not all on Angie. It's not Angie's responsibility to be the leader of this. She stumbled into it, but we got to make sure that we remember that it's not all on Angie, right? Me and Travi were talking about this today, but we got to make sure that we all try and step in. And I know tons of people want to help, you know? So it's not all Angie's responsibility to think of all these ideas. She's got sick ideas, like mad ideas. But you do too, I bet. And you should start pitching some of yours. And if you can't pitch your own, you know, maybe you get together, maybe you literally create a group called Angie's Angels and y'all help come up with 50 ideas and then you present them and then Angie refines them with you, you know, something like that. But we all got to step in. We all got to help out, okay? In whatever way we can. I said, if you got, you know, that stupid work thing when you're working a shitty job, if you got time to lean, you got time to clean. Well, if you got time to complain, then you got time to explain. That's our new motto, okay? Any naysayers? We're not having no more naysayers. Zero naysayers. If you're naysaying, you better start talking. If you're saying, "Oh, where's the safety guide? Oh, where's the safety guide? I need the safety guide." Well, why don't you make it? Because we need frickin' help. We have no infrastructure. We have no organization, you know? We're all flying at the seat of our pants. That's why we're going to be successful, but we also need people to step in and help out wherever we can. But yeah, get that filthy, disgusting fat out of your head. Don't be a naysayer. Angie's not the only idea person. She could use a team. And then, also, I feel like the last few months has been like I feel like I've been training to step into this role for a few years now, like listening, absorbing stuff that Hassan says and, all the different people and things that I read or whatever, I feel like I've been training for this. And anyone who's been here with us the last few months, you are in training. I know so many of you still feel like that feeling like I feel like I want to do this, but I'm too scared. Well, training's almost over. It's almost time for you to step up because we're going to need the next round of revolutionaries to step up. We need like, what do we have, a few thousand in here now that are like, they get it. They get the picture. They see the whole thing. They're understanding, how to respond to things. They're watching the way we respond. And then at a certain point, it's going to be time for you to step up, okay? And my next point, before we get to the safety tips, is that we all need to keep in mind that we need to be able to ask for help. Part of having a community is that you also get to ask for help, okay? So we need to realize that we're all going to feel burnout at a certain point, right? I except for me, I will never feel burnout. I will never sleep until the revolution has happened. No, I'm just kidding. But, at a certain point, I'm going to need a few days off. And instead, the last thing that I'm going to need at that point is hearing grief from anyone. and I don't want it to be because I feel attacked, you know? So let's just keep that in mind, that we all are people. We all, like, this has been a crazy last 4 months, you know? It's been brutal. It's been nuts. It's kind of like, it feels like it's been a time warp, you know? Like, but at a certain point, we're all going to need a break. Dude, at the end of this, we all need like a year and a half off, period. But anyway, we're all here to help, right? The whole point of our thing is that we can each step in and help out. When, you know, Travi and I were talking today, he said we're all like a chain link fence. None of us are more important than the others, but we need everyone, you know, otherwise we can't be a frickin' fence. But yeah, we cannot afford to lose anyone permanently from this frickin' revolution, okay? And we're not, you know. We'll never let Angie go, ever. But, you know, there's been times where I feel like the world's against me and stuff, and that brings me to my next point, that I know we all need to also remember that right now the feds are doing everything in their power to stop us. We are terrifying them. But so if you're ever feeling scared or feeling like you're being pushed off this app, that's what they want, okay? So we need to keep that in mind. Dude, they literally are messing with personal relationships of all of us. They are. They're in DMs of people you know. Anyone you've ever showed that you might be like close to or whatever, they'll go into your DMs. They'll start saying, "Ooh, hey, I don't know. Maybe this person's nuts. What do you think? I don't know. I'm just really worried about them." You know? Like, they'll do anything. They have no morals. But if you feel like they're trying to get you to stop talking, they are. So we have to do the opposite, okay? Expect and anticipate that they are going to divide us, because they're trying right now, right this instant. Just like Mick said, anyone who was naysaying, I agree, fed. Doesn't matter. They might not be a full-on Harry fed or a Philly D fed, but they be a fed, you know, a head fed. Okay, so here we go. Online safety. Guys, the safety is your responsibility, okay? It is not Angie's responsibility. It is good that we all need to definitely provide, you know, guides and stuff, but at the end of the day, we want everyone to learn these skills so that they can use them in their normal life, because you have to protect yourself always. It's not just now that there's feds. There's always feds. So here's a guide from the Edmonton police department. It's actually pretty decent. Okay, at the beginning, keep the personal details to a minimum, right? Don't use your real name. Like, don't give your full first, middle, last name. Like, it's like you're courting them, right? You give them information slowly. You're not trying to like give them everything, because if they're fed, you don't need them to get all this information so fast, you know? They make them work for it. Don't reveal details of where you live. Don't show pictures of where you live, like, or super, you know, landmarks, or, you know, if I film outside, I try not to show the frickin', you know, the street signs and stuff, but like, you know, keep this in mind. There are people that can like see a picture of a sky and tell which part of the world it's in. Like, you know, people can tell this stuff from seeing like a license plate and stuff. We all need to take online safety seriously. This comes in handy with like getting something from Craigslist, you know. Don't share images if you don't feel comfortable with them being public. Yes, I think like this all the time. When I'm online, I kind of assume that I'm being watched, right? Because we know that how easy it could be for someone to watch. And also, I kind of live my life. I try to live my life where I don't really say much that I wouldn't say in public. Like, I try and stand on my morals, you know? Like, I try not to talk shit about people too much that I wouldn't really say to their face, you know? Like, I don't post stuff online that I wouldn't say in public, because I know that anyone online can see it, you know, and that stuff stays forever. So think about this stuff. When you're posting, if someone showed your post history to your mom, would you be embarrassed? That's kind of how I think, and that also, that helps keep you safe too. Because remember, guys, just because it's online, if you say stuff that's not true and if people can sue you for defamation or libel or whatever, you can't say shit that isn't true. That goes for online. You can't threaten people and stuff. That stuff's illegal. I need to do a in-depth course about all this stuff because I feel like so many people don't know this stuff. When you make claims about things, you have to make sure that you're not saying specific targeted accusations without evidence and proof, because it's much easier for them to silence you too then. So yeah, just be careful with how you talk, especially about slanderous type stuff with people, because they can use it against you, and if they're trying to shut you up, don't give them any ammunition ever, But yeah, so let's just always think about how we're being perceived online. Okay, then don't feel pressured to meet someone if you aren't comfortable. Yes, Naomi Nagata, what does she say? The only choice anyone ever has is to walk away. You can walk away. If you don't feel comfortable, the main thing you have to trust with this is your gut, I think. Because, you get vibes from people, you understand. Look, and then last, look into a person's online presence. If they have other social media accounts, be sure the details of those accounts match up. You don't have to be a private investigator, but if you look at UAE federally, he kind of passes as a lefty. I would probably end up meeting him if I didn't look into him super close, if I just at a glance saw that. But that's why we have to look really closely, right? We have to trust but verify, right? It's unfortunate that we have to be a little bit paranoid, but being a little bit paranoid is going to be healthy for us. We need to be more paranoid in our media literacy and what we're taking from the news, all this kind of stuff, right? Because we are always being lied to. We know catfish. This is catfish. This is just so you don't get freaking catfished, right? But yeah. If you decide to meet with someone, be clear about your expectations and ensure that you're both on the same page. Meet in public. Stay in public. Coffee revolution. Coffee shops. Libraries. Parks. We don't meet people at their house. Dude, I feel like kids these days don't know any of this, do they? We don't just meet people at their house. This goes for Craigslist. If you want to sell someone something expensive, that's like a computer or whatever, and you're kind of worried, you should always meet in public first off. But if you're doing an expensive thing, go maybe meet in front of a fire department. Don't go by the police station. They won't do anything. But maybe meet in front of a library, meet in front of the fire department, somewhere that's got activity. There's people, maybe a couple brawny men that might be able to help if anything happens, but and also people are less likely to try anything in public like that. But do not let people into your house. if you need someone to come near your place or whatever, it's it depends on what you're doing, I would, if I could tell that someone is easily totally fine and I'm giving away a garden hose or whatever, I'll give people my address. But if I'm I have 25 TVs and I want to sell one of them to you, here's my address. Don't do that, It's a case by case basis. These are all just guides. You need to use your vibes, use what they say, check their online presence. You're using all of this to kind of do a calculus on whether or not this person is kosher to chill with, Do not meet for the first time at a person's home or invite the person to your home. Meet at a public location instead of accepting a ride from the person you are meeting. Tell someone you trust where you're going and who you're meeting. You can share your contact with a close friend and just say, hey, I'm going to meet this person. If it's a fed and I disappear, here's my location. If you become uncomfortable with the date or person, leave. Naomi Nagata, you can leave. Leave. You don't have to say anything. Just say, you just get up. Or just say, I'm sorry, I don't feel comfortable. I gotta go. Oh, my mom called. And he'll be like, what? You didn't answer. Be like, I have telepathy. And listen, even the cops say that. I mean, it's Canadian cops, so they're not like our cops, but always trust your gut. Guys, I'm starting to feel this more than ever. I always doubt myself, but I keep needing to not doubt myself because I keep being right and I'm going on vibes. We're purely vibes-based science at this point. There's no rhyme or reason. It's all vibes. And you guys have the vibes inside of you. I know it. You can. But yeah, guys, here, take a look at, here's how you don't get romance scammed real quick. But yeah, guys, these are very important. It's not just for this. It's important for real life. But I'm so glad that we've all figured out how many freaking feds there are because, yeah, they're infiltrating all of our lives, right? They're taking over everything. And then we've got the Spot-a-Fed tips. The way that they're doing, like, the way that they took over PS, I think that they do this a lot for, like, this is how they used to break up the things. They would infiltrate groups and then, like, get in really fast and, like, move up the ranks really fast and then do, like, SA someone. And then they'd be like, oh, everyone would find out. And then the management would want to be like, oh, we got to get rid of him. And then that dude, since he's a Fed, that he knows that he can just be like, no, I'll tell everyone, and then you guys are going to get broken up. So you have to keep my secret. And then they have this stupid secret instead of burying this guy. They've got this secret forever that at any point can burn the thing down, just like PSL. But yeah, any abusive behavior, Fed. How to spot an undercover agent.
How to spot an undercover FBI agent. Ever wondered how to spot an undercover FBI agent? Let's dive into the world of intrigue and espionage, without breaking any laws, of course. Undercover FBI agents are trained to blend in, so spotting them isn't as straightforward as you might think. However, there are some subtle signs to look out for. Firstly, they often have a backstory or cover that's believable, yet vague. If someone's life story sounds like it's straight out of a Hollywood script, your spy senses should start tingling.
This was UAE Falcon. He was like, I worked for Sullivan and Cromwell, and also I was part of Occupy, and also I was one of the guys who brought down the home equity mortgage thing or something. I don't know. I forget what it was. It was just like a laundry list. It was like Forrest Gump list, and you're like, I don't know. You got a lot of weird excuses and things.
Secondly, they may show an unusual interest in your activities or conversations. Remember, their job is to gather information. Thirdly, they will avoid discussing their personal lives. They are trained to listen more than they talk. So if someone is unusually quiet about their own life, but seems overly interested in yours, it's a potential red flag. Lastly, they often have access to resources or information that ordinary citizens don't. If someone seems to know a lot more than they should, it might be a sign. Remember, these are just general observations and not foolproof methods.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so then we've got, is he or she an informant? We know the feds are out there, guys, so obviously in protest, you guys should be learning how to spot the feds. That's really easy. These freaking Goombas, they're walking around with their, like, they always got, like, Carhartt stuff. Cool backwards hat, bulletproof vest. But they'll always be the ones who are trying to, like, start fights so that they can blame the fights on the protesters because they're scumbags and, have no morals. And look, you can see his freaking handcuffs. But anyway, I think that from now on at protests, we should do Spot-a-Fed and we should point out all the feds and then just, film them. Film them like Meg does. Okay, but anyway. A group of people who have been directly harmed by informant provocateurs have put together this checklist drawing on personal experiences. this is that you guys got to use this for your mutual aid groups and everything, we're not here to don't let this tear us apart. We don't want the Fed thing to tear us apart, but it's important for us to be able to spot them, or at least, be able to notice and have suspicions and then look for more evidence, or at least just keep that in mind, keep that in mind, because you got to watch we're not doing, it's not like we're going to go do what they do, we're not going to go Timothy McVeigh this, that's the FBI's thing, but they would love if we did that, but they're just going to try and slow you down. And if you ever tried to do anything bad, which we won't ever, they would just inform on you. But mostly they just try and get you to do something bad. Or they sell you drugs, and then, they either bust you or bust the whole group up by being like, hey, you want to try this cool thing? It's called heroin. Anyway, we hope you can learn from the damage that has already been done so these people can be stopped before they're able to harm you. Here are 10 warning signs. 1. If something feels off, something about them just doesn't line up. Their stories about the activist history or life history don't ring true. At this point, you need to run a background and criminal check. If you wait for all the other signs, it may be too late. The most obvious sign for serious concern is when someone shows up in an activist community and they don't seem to have existed prior to that. That should be a deal breaker right off the bat. Yeah, if you guys listen to there's a podcast called Alphabet Boys. Dude, it's awesome, but it's about this weirdo dude who infiltrated and informed on the Black Lives Matter protests in frickin' Colorado, in Denver, and he was such a loser. And I feel like if we saw this dude now, knowing what we know, we would instantly have called him a Fed. But I think because there's been, there wasn't really that much protest stuff going on before Black Lives Matter, and I don't think the kids learned that, this dude was he drives a hearse, and he's I used to fight, I was a Contra or something, he's got all these BS stories, but then he's always got a shaved head, and he's they end up telling on themselves eventually if you're listening, right? But yeah, despite the misgivings of some members, the individual quickly rises up to a leadership position, eagerly takes credit for actions in the media, and begins to promote himself. She works to become one of the faces of the organization. Yeah, because remember, the media is a massive part of this. The media works hand in hand with the military-industrial complex and frickin', all this BS, because they all depend on each other to lie and keep those lies, and then they get promoted, the people running, the guys who were involved in covering up the JFK shit in the media became the top, New York Times columnists and whatever, the editors and stuff. They all keep these secrets, and then they get more access, in the politics, which is just that they'll get to break stories and stuff. But it's in the meantime, you're lying about everything for all Americans. But yeah, and once again, shortcut takers, right? They rise up the leadership super fast. Shortcut takers. Photographs, actions, meetings, and people should not be photographed. Posts photos of actions and meetings on social media sites like Facebook, even tagging activists without their permission. If they're a liar, show signs of lacking ethics and lacking transparency with the rest of the group. Advocates for high-risk illegal action to people. I think the guy from the Denver group, I think he was trying to get people to buy weapons, or trying to get people to do assassinations and stuff. But yeah, they goad others into violent action, for example, by telling them that they need to be warriors. Upon reflection, the illegal actions in question often have no real purpose and will not advance the goals of the group in any meaningful way. The person generally has a twisted perception of what it means to be a warrior. And then they seek internal rifts in the community and exploit them. This is like the coffee revolution. This is seeking oh, there's an opening to be mad at Angie and the last poet. Oh, let's shit on them, you know. Let's try and turn this whole group against the coffee revolution. We can do that by pointing, you know, they're always poking holes in the wall or poking holes in it. And then, you know, because they're poking the holes, then they got to dig more. And then the hole's freaking basketball size now, you know? But yeah, if they're abusive, have any abusive traits, watch out. And then, yeah, the followed by apologies and promises to do better. This is what Caleb Hammer did when Nicole and Dante confronted him about his weird online behavior. He was like, I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better. I know it's wrong. I know it's wrong. I have a power differential and I totally understand this, but I'll try and do better. And then, you know, he's been himself. They always have bail money and pocket money, but either no real job or no job that pays that much. They imply access to a trust fund or anyone who even might have access to a trust fund. Eek. And if you have access to a trust fund, you should not let people know that. It'll never be a good thing. But yeah, this needs to be checked. Somehow has the financial freedom to be at any action that will get media attention or any underground action that may involve illegal activity, which we have no problems with this because I'm not even saying this as a joke, dude. None of us feds, we're not the kind of activists that you're looking for. You think that we're going to do an OKC, but that's your thing. We are mutual. We're like, hey, let's collect blankets and food for people. You guys are like, hey, let's make all these documents disappear with a boom. But yeah, lying about really serious things like identity, family, background, has warrants, but is unafraid of announcing and advocating illegal action. This is what we're saying with like the Colleen thing. Like, how is she back online after all the stuff that we found out? Oh, it's because she has no fear because she's talking to the people that would bust her. In my opinion, I think, as a joke. But yeah, jumping in, yeah, not wanting to be in pictures. But yeah, just, you know, it's about vibes. It's about watching the way they interact, watching the way they speak to women, watching the way they speak to, you know, gay people, anyone who may be trans. Like, it's just going with vibes and trusting your gut and trusting but verifying, right? But yeah, guys, I think we got this. They want us to do violence, but we're all a bunch of pussies. So we don't want to do that. Again, that's their thing. So this is easy. We won't be goaded into that. Sorry, Timothy. Timothy's been like, come on, man, I'll rent you guys the van. Please. But yeah, guys, I don't know. I think that was a pretty comprehensive list. Let me know if you got any more questions. But we just want you to be safe. And at the end of the day, it is your responsibility to be safe. It is not Angie's job. It's not Angie and the last poet's job to be your mother and tell you how to not get catfished. You know? But look at their shoes, too. The shoes will tell you everything. See, look if their shoes look police issued. But hell yeah, guys. Coffee revolution forever. And if you got time to complain, you got time to explain in a detailed 10-minute video. You don't even have to show your face. But come on, guys. Let's do it. Let's finish strong. Angie will be back. Just give her a minute. Chill. Stop being weird. No, I'm just kidding. You're not weird.